This is a new German tank called Panther KF51, and this is what will be replacing the Leopard. Tanks in service with the German armed forces, as well as being exported to other NATO countries. But there's more to this tank than meets the eye. So let's get into it. So the first thing that stands out about this tank is its apparent similarities to the Korean K2 Black Panther tank. Well, the similarities are not surprising given that the company that developed this tank, Rheinmetall, who are based in Germany, have a partnership with Hyundai Rotem from South Korea, who of course developed the K2. However, this is where the similarities end. Aside from the general layout and look, these two tanks have very little in common. The KF51 was designed by Rheinmetall to meet the requirements set out by the German Federal Office of Bundeswehr Equipment, Concepts and Technology. What they wanted was a tank with the capability to ford bodies of water twice as tall as the tank itself. It needed to be lighter than the existing Leopard 2 South, but also have better capability and protection. Lastly, it had to be compatible with the logistics and supply chains of the German armed forces and NATO in general. And after several years of development, they came up with the KF51. KF stands for Kursfahrer, which is German for short drive. And the 51 refers to the year 2051, when Rheinmetall believes this tank will start entering service with the German armed forces. The vehicle we see here is the first prototype, and it made its public debut at the Eurosatory Trade Fair in Paris in June 2022. As you can see, it bears a striking resemblance to the Korean K2 tank. But let's take a closer look at it and see what makes it tick. Let's start with the armament. This is a 130mm smoothbore cannon made by Rheinmetall. It is a new design specifically made for this tank. While it is 130mm, it has a similar bore diameter to a 120mm NATO tank gun, meaning it can use the same ammunition as the M1 Abrams and the Leopard 2. Now, the advantage of having a larger caliber gun over a standard 120mm is that you get more velocity and range from your ammunition. There is also talk that this gun might be able to fire the new German long rod armor piercing projectile called the 712 German Marks. Now, this is a next generation round currently in development that is meant to defeat even reactive armor with ease. At present, only the older Leopard 1 and 2 tanks can fire this round, but there is no reason to believe that the new KF51 won't be capable of doing so as well. The gun is mounted in a fully stabilized parallactic turret, meaning that the entire turret rotates on an inclined plane, allowing for a greater field of view for the gunner. It also means the tank crew has a much easier time identifying targets, since they have a wider field of view. On top of this turret is an unmanned sensor mast. This has a high-resolution camera in it, which is connected to an advanced pre-programmed eye system. This analyzes images and feeds them to the commander, helping him identify friend from foe. It can also recognize static and dynamic objects in the battlefield and provide the commander with target coordinates. Also, this mast is protected by an armored cover, but if it does get damaged, the system automatically lowers the mast to protect the sensitive equipment inside. This tank features a fully digitalized fire control stabilization and observation system. It comes with 8 infrared search and tracking blocks for all weather capabilities. It is claimed that this tank can engage targets during the day or night, in smoke, rain, snow, or fog, with pinpoint accuracy. The tank has an integrated NBC protection system and a hydrogen sulfide alarm. And lastly, it has an automatic fire suppression system. The tank crew consists of 3, a driver, a gunner, and a commander. The commander sits in the middle of the tank, which allows him better visibility. He can see forward through the main gun and to his sides via armored glass vision blocks. He also has some blind spots covered by cameras. In total, the tank has 9 cameras mounted on it. The driver has some cameras to see around the tank, but also has an armored glass vision block in front of him. All the vision blocks, both the cameras and the glass ones, have a layer of Kevlar behind them for added protection. Power comes from MTU 883 diesel engine that produces 1600 horsepower. This engine is mated to a fully automatic transmission. It can achieve a maximum road speed of 70 kilometers per hour, which is about 45 miles per hour. It is claimed that this tank will have a range of 500 kilometers or about 310 miles. It is also amphibious and can move in water at speeds of up to 10 kilometers per hour. In addition, it can swim across bodies of water twice as tall as the tank itself. In terms of protection, the KF51 uses composite armor with built-in active protection. It is said to have similar protection levels to the Leopard 2 tank, but it could be higher since it uses composite armors, which tend to offer more protection than steel ones while being lighter. It remains unclear exactly what kind of active protection system it uses, though. Now, let's discuss the weight of this tank. It is said to be lighter than the Leopard 2, which weighs 55 tons. Rheinmetall claims that the KF51 weighs just under 60 tons, but I couldn't find an exact figure anywhere. It is possible that the final production models will weigh even less than this. The reason why keeping the weight low was so important is because it affects the transport capabilities of the German armed forces and NATO in general. With the weight kept low, the tank can be transported by a standard 750-ton crane. It can also be loaded onto a railway flat car and transported anywhere in Europe. In fact, Rheinmetall did tests where they loaded the prototype onto a flat car and transported it 620 kilometers to its headquarters in Munster. It can also be loaded onto a ship and transported across the sea. For example, it could easily be loaded onto a USS ship like the Louis B. Puller, which is a landing ship used to transport tanks and other vehicles. One interesting feature about this tank is that it has an auxiliary power unit, or APU, which is located at the rear of the tank. An APU is essentially a small independent power plant that can power the electrical systems of a tank without having to run the main engine. This means the tank crew can enjoy climate control inside the tank without having to run the engine, making them less audible and detectable. It also means that the engine doesn't have to be run as much, prolonging its life and reducing maintenance. Lastly, the running gear. The tank has 7 road wheels on each side, with the first and last one being return rollers. It also has a support wheel at the rear and a smaller steering wheel up front. The suspension is a combination of torsion bars and coil springs. The tank has a maximum width of 3.5 meters and a height of 2.9 meters. So what do you think? Is this the next big thing in Western tanks? Or is it just another overpriced piece of junk? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, the West is obsessed with developing new tanks. While some may call it overkill, it is likely necessary to keep up with the threat posed by Russia. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.